And there we go. All right, all right, all right. Hey, everybody, this is Houston Vibes with Insight TV. I am here. I've got a crowd with us tonight. So we came on to just have a little fun. We know it's Christmas time. Some people are in the Christmas spirit, some people are not in the Christmas spirit. So what we decided to do is for this year, we started with the Still Got Game tournament where we were giving people an opportunity to purchase tickets. We decided that we're going to do a 65-inch LG TV that we're going to give away. Everyone got a chance to buy tickets. Some people bought one, some people bought several tickets. And today is the day that we actually have the actual drawing for this 65-inch TV. Now, if anybody wants to call in real quick, like, and buy 200 more tickets, I'll make sure that I put yours on top. You got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. You have to buy 200 tickets at $5 each. And we will pause this and put your ticket on top. And then we shake it up along with everybody else. But you will start on top. And then we'll shake it up. Let me ask this question first. Everybody, let's kind of go around to the ones that are into Christmas. And anything major anybody's doing for Christmas?
Can't hear you.
Daryl, how about you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. How about you, Daryl? While Ursula's saying she can't hear me right now. Anything major for Christmas? I know you guys usually fly to the mountains or go into a cave somewhere, or you know, what you guys got going on this year?
I have nothing planned.
You have nothing planned. That's not wrong with that because I don't have much of anything planned. We're gonna go see some family, head out of town a little bit. So, Daryl, anything major?
You know me, the usual. Have the kids coming home and sit back and eat and play games. Just be really festive.
That's usually look, and most of the time, if I'm in town, that's exactly where I'll be at your house.
There you go. There you go.
Where the good food and the laughter is.
Well, I'm getting a lot of people asking me, are we going to do the New Year's party? So I'm debating whether or not to do it. You know, we always get too crazy when we have those parties.
I'll leave it right. Yeah. I ain't gonna say a word. I'm not gonna say a word. I was gonna say, you remember that time? No.
Oh yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna do my sister like it.
Ain't no caves underneath the house in the apartments. No baby oil running around.
No.
It ain't that kind of party. It's kid friendly. Kid friendly. Kid friendly.
Tobias, I know you have your daughters. Are you gonna be catching up with your daughters or anything?
Bah humbug.
And
I am not.
Pitville, right?
My daughters, no, one of them is up north somewhere doing her thing, and the other one, well, she'll be in Lillington doing her thing, and the other two over in the Philippines doing their thing. But I think we're all gonna get together on FaceTime and like what we're doing now, and do a little talking and stuff like that. I had to make sure I take care of the two youngest ones anyway, to make sure that they got, at least some of the stuff on their list. It's cheaper over in the Philippines, so I figured I was able to hook them up. I was a real good Santa Claus this time, but over here I'm more like the Grinch because stuff's too expensive over here. So,
I got you.
I be taking stuff back. I'll be like, yeah, you ain't getting it. I'll go right back into Whoville and just snatch all this stuff right on up.
I ain't mad at you. Ursula, how about you? You doing anything? I know you're gonna be around family.
Yes, I have been putting up Christmas decorations all weekend. My sister went crazy after last Christmas on the Christmas sale and bought every freaking donation. I mean, not donation, every freaking decoration you can ever find about Christmas.
Oh wow!
And the idea was Candyland. We got big old huge candy canes lining the driveway to my parents' house. I was up on this tall ladder putting lights up all weekend around the front of the house, and the inside is decorated. And they just got the new addition done right before Thanksgiving.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
I need to drive through there then. Just take a peek at that.
So we got the new addition done, and but my kids are 21 and 15, so Christmas it ain't the magical Christmas that it used to be.
Right.
because they're almost grown. One's grown,
I
one is
get it.
almost grown. So, the grandbabies see the lights and they get all excited and stuff. So that's the big thing. But just family and friends. And
Okay.
if you're
Okay.
not doing anything and y'all ain't got nowhere to go, you want something good home cooking.
Uh-huh.
Come on down, right there at Calico,
Okay. Okay. Well, if I send you a
right
text and say
outside of
send the
eight.
address, if I say send the address, just don't ask no
Yep.
questions.
Send it. I'll drop the addy to you. All you do is come through. Cause
I
when my
got
mom cooked, she cooked
There
for a soup kitchen.
Hey, I ain't mad at
you
her.
go.
I'm not mad at her. Now, let me ask
So
you a couple of questions because I know 2025, we're going to be trying to do some things differently. We're going to be trying to get some shows together. We're going to organize a little bit. I'm glad Daryl Smith happened to join in tonight with us for a little bit. Because, Daryl, tell me a little bit about, I know you've got some things you're working on and a couple of projects. Can you tell me about that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, built the studio in 2024, which was a major goal. And looking about 2025, getting into, of course, the podcast arena. Got my Unique Voices podcast that's out. And also we got Brad Boyd, who's doing his 3 sides to every story. So it's
Got
been very, very exciting. And I'm looking forward to that. Also got some upcoming upcoming events with Bear Hug Productions. He's actually working on a series, and he's also got his film that's coming out this year. So,
Okay.
a lot of exciting things. You know, trying to collaborate with some of these local artists, local people in this area. So, really having a real good time and enjoying the process.
Now, you know what? I got to make sure that the next time you're here, or maybe if Tobias may be back in Greenville, you guys meet because he
Mhm.
does. You were working on a movie just last weekend, right?
Yeah, just
Well,
well, actually, this past week, I think it was
I think was it Tuesday or
Tuesday
Thursday.
or Wednesday, between Tuesday, I think it was Thursday. But Ty Banks is doing a TV series now based off one of his movies on Tubi called Messy, and Messy is now becoming a series,
Okay.
and we started the first shoot um, of that last week. It's been anticipated, man, because I tell you, we ever since he started talking about it at the beginning of the fall, the end of the summer, he was talking about he was ready to put this thing on and ready to get this thing shot. So it was decided that we're going to start in December, and so he's held audition. He's been holding auditions and so it's coming. I'm looking for, I tell folks watch the shows that are on Tubi now that Ty Banks has done. That way you can be up to par with what is about to come. Some of his stuff is already overseas, been picked up by other countries. So he's up there.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
badass.
Now
Mhm.
I'm gonna ask you guys do me a favor. Anybody that can see if you can share the link to the Still Got Game page. I was trying to do it here, but I was having a problem. So if anybody's able to share this video link to the
Mhm.
Still Got Game page, that way they'll know who wins the 65-inch television as well. Um, Myself, like I said, what I'm going to be working on is really putting some things together with the studio. Tobias, Tough
Mhm.
Talk with Tobias is a show that we're working on and keeping it 100. Gleisha, we're going to be talking about some tax stuff. So we got to figure out when we're going to do our first show. And she's going to be giving us some tax tips and letting people know how they can either save or get more money back. Depends on how
Yeah.
you do stuff through the year. She's going to give some tips on that. Um, Gleisha, like you said, at any point in time, people can start reaching out to you about getting taxes done, or how does that work?
Yes, you can go on my website, gnsfinancialservicesllc.org. My Facebook, you can inbox me on my business on Facebook or Instagram as well at GNS Financial Services LLC.
Okay,
All
okay,
right.
that definitely works. I know Ursula already mentioned she's gonna be using your services this year. So without a doubt. So
I look
let's do
forward to new clients.
let's do this. Let's go ahead. What we're gonna do. So tonight is really about the 65-inch LG TV that we have. That we're going to be drawing a name out of this box in just a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out. So what now?
That we have.
What, the TV we
I'm
have?
tired of you sharing my mess with other people.
But that's okay.
Do
it is yours until I reach in here and pull a name. It's absolutely completely yours. So what we're gonna do? Let's see. First of all, let me do this. Let
hey, you, I got a suggestion. Why don't you sit here? Let's try to share this page as much as you possibly can, because I'm looking at the viewers on this, and you only got one person that's viewing live.
Oh, everybody need to share the page. Let's do that first. Let's have some
share, share. See what you can do.
And let's go share the
call
page.
Your friends, call your grandma, call her, whoever.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go. Is it live on your page, Houston?
Yes, it should be live. I think it's live on yours as well. I could be wrong, but it should be. So I'm gonna hit. Let me hit group. And let's see here.
Looks like 2 people are on now.
Okay, let's go here.
I would pick a number that you want to try to achieve.
Well, I want to try to get maybe 25. Let's get at least 25.
There you go, 25. That's a good number. That's a good number.
That's a good number. Let's try to share this thing out to a few people. See, now this is what's throwing me. I have a group I can share to, but I can't share to my page. Normally, I can share to my page. So we're not quite sure why that's the case. Let's go here.
I'm gonna see if I can share it to the group. I'm gonna share it to Pick County Steals and Deals.
I did that.
Okay.
So share it to
I shared it on my page.
Okay. And I would like to share it on Still Got Game. So when I click on that, it gives me no result. So that's what's interesting to me.
All right.
So let's figure it out.
So I just did that. Just lost somebody. Let's see. Share. And you said you couldn't. I'm gonna do it to Major League.
Yeah, that'll work. That will work. So what's confusing me is, like I said, normally I can just share it without a problem at all. And especially with the Still Got Game account, Still Got Game. Oh, it's trying to make me switch to it. Maybe because I'm an administrator, I have to switch to it.
Okay, shared it to that one, to Chris's group. Let's see who else I can share.
I just shared mine, and I attached. I saw my
There we go. All right. So while we're waiting for a few more people to come in, one thing I want to do, like you said, I know we're going to have some subjects that we talked about earlier in the year. So this year coming up, Tobias, I know you mentioned a couple of things that you're looking at talking about sometime soon.
Yes.
As far as dealing with, Black families and certain things that have been going on, some things that some people know, and might be some things that people don't know. So we're going to make sure we do. You want to do that on Tough Talk with Tobias or something different?
Yes. I want to talk about it first alone, and then get everybody on a show to, after they've watched it, to get their input on it. That gives you a chance to do some research and to check on it, to see if, so we can also have something to talk about. But this is a really big thing, this household median income per race in this country. And again, I wrote a paper years ago in college dealing with our status in this country.
Okay.
And that was back in 2006.
Okay.
That was summer.
Let's make sure that we bring, you may still have that copy, or make sure that we go deep into that when we get ready to do your show. Oh,
Yeah, it is something that we really need to discuss and look into because it's. And I'll bring make sure that you get the clips
okay.
um, of some of the research that I found.
That'll work.
Cool.
That would definitely work.
Hmm.
Felicia, since I have you here for a few minutes while we're waiting for a couple of people to come in, I'm gonna put you on the spot just a little bit. And
Just
if
a
you
little
had to
bit.
kind of just a little bit, so if you had to give someone, I know we've talked about a couple of tips that you talked about in the past. That one was make sure you have your stuff together.
Please do.
Make sure you have, and when you say have stuff together, what are like the four things that people really need to make sure they have?
Valid ID, not expired. It must be current, up to date,
Okay.
and your W-2s, 1099s, all your forms that are required to file by the IRS.
Okay. Okay.
1099 Rs, 109 it all NEC for small business owners is 1099 NEC 1099K from the apps that we use to take money. Um your health forms that they will give you, like your pensions and all stuff, your all the forms. And if you have a business and you keeping up with your receipts, like add that stuff up and put it on, like on a file, on a photo, type it out to make it a little easier for your tax preparer if possible. Because some tax preparers actually charge to have to go through all those receipts. Could be a lot of money. So I have a form that I can send my small business owners to fill out their expenses on my end. I do have a form that you all can fill out
Okay.
and turn into me and sign and turn into me as far as your expenses and everything.
Okay.
That
So can I ask
definitely
you a
that.
question? Can I ask you a question, Alicia?
Yes, ma'am.
So, say you did renovations on your house and all those things, those receipts. You need all those receipts.
I mean,
With it.
but with me, with your form, you add your stuff up. I sit down with my clients and actually go through things with them and take the time. The ones that actually want to sit down and go through everything with me, I literally take my time and sit down and go through those items with them and explain everything to them, and they get their information together and bring it back. Or they can just bring it all, and I work through the process with them.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So now, like you said, the paperwork is important, I guess, because I know you've had people that come to you and they want you to fill their taxes out while they sit there and they want it back tomorrow, but they don't have all their stuff together.
Yeah, and they want it done right then and there. And I've had where people, oh, well, I gave you this a week ago, and I text you and ask you for such and such. Like I could have completed this by now, but I'm waiting for you.
Hmm.
So I've had those instances.
Gotcha. 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 Okay. Okay. Well, I tell you what, we have three people on right now, but people are gonna be watching this later, and we can send it back where they can, or they can go back and watch it, find out who won the ticket or won the TV. But before we do that, anything that anyone wants to talk about outside of the show that we're gonna discuss later, because that needs to be after dark show. Anything major that you guys have that we've talked about earlier this year that you thought would have been a great conversation to get back into? Ursula, I know that I know certain things that definitely are stickling with you, especially when you talk about your favorite man, Kevin Samuels. So that's something that I know you don't care to talk about forever. Um, and we've had some deep conversations as far as about relationships this year. So this year coming up, what is something you guys think that we need to talk about?
I business wise, or even
Mhm.
on a personal level, I feel I was literally thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for the last few weeks actually. And I know my text coach, she was like, you gotta show up. I was like, what advice can you give me to better myself? She said, you gotta show up.
Mm,
And I have not been living fully to my full potential. other things that I can do in my life and for myself. And so I'm encouraging all business owners, small business owners, big business owners, to show up for yourself and really put in the work this year and doing the things you can and see where it takes us. Let's work together as a team and like really put our all in to see where we can go with our potential in our businesses.
Okay, okay. Daryl, let me ask you because Daryl, I always look at you as a motivator, and you're always helping people with a variety of different things. What is something that you think you might try to conquer this year, 2025?
That address me, Yusuf.
Yes, sir.
I think one subject that we don't touch upon is retirement. And
Okay.
whether you're 20 years old, whether you're 30 or 40, whatever, looking at what the plans are for the future and building a sound structure of where you want to be. I know that nobody on this live wants to be working for somebody for the rest of their lives.
Right.
So, what are the steps that it takes to be financially secure? And I always talk about that legacy. The generational wealth. Who is it that's going to break that cycle to make sure that your seeds in the future have that same mentality and try to do things better? So, I would say again, a long-winded answer to say, think about retirement and generational wealth.
Gotcha, gotcha. And I think there's never really a time that's too late to at least start. There's got to be at some point you just say, okay, let me just start and start working towards something. And things happen because I'm gonna tell you what's been amazing to me is how I've seen, and we've all seen it, how someone has been saving for retirement their entire lives, and then something may happen, whether it's a sickness, um, a death that throws them off, and then mentally they're not there, or a divorce, and they have to split the money. I've seen a lot of times where that has happened, where someone's had a ton of money in their 401k, and then something happens and half of it's gone, or they use some of it as far as trying to get back on their feet. But I think one thing you're saying is start.
Well, I always say live for today, but plan for tomorrow.
Right.
And we never know what's going to happen to us.
Right.
So a lot of times, I'm sure people have heard this, people are planning for retirement, and the next thing you know, they retire, and then they keel over. And
Right.
they don't get to really enjoy the fruits of the labor. So again, I say live below your means, but again, plan for that comfort or confidence of knowing that you're going to be okay in the future. So it needs to be a conversation, and it also needs to be talked to your children so that they understand the dynamics of what needs to go on. Because how many of you guys have ever sat down with your parents and actually went through a structure to say, this is what you need to do so that you're going to be financially healthy? I never did it with my mom, my dad.
But I actually have had I had those parents that
Great.
taught me financial how to be stable financially and so forth, and they still teach me new things that I don't know. So I've actually had those parents, and I completely agree with you. I talk to my children every day about their
Awesome.
financial stability, and I got paid this much money. Let me spend my whole paycheck today. Like, I've been working on it with them. They don't get it, but I'm I'm working on it.
Yeah.
And then too, a lot of people don't understand. They looking at, oh, I got this 401k. I'm gonna retire. No, you lose that job tomorrow. You lose that. You're
Yep.
not gonna have it like that.
Right.
If
Nope.
you
Right.
don't roll it over
Spirit.
into something that's gonna really be more marketable for you, it's no use of putting into a 401k. People get that
Thank
all
you.
twisted.
Right.
It seems like people feel like it's taboo to talk about that. I
Mhm.
mean, and I think we need to
They
break that because it's not isolated to minorities. It's across the board to everybody. This is
Yeah.
one thing that people don't really talk about. And Glisha, it's comforting to know that you have a family that has taught that. That's awesome. But again, there's few and far between that go through that. So
Yeah.
good for you.
I
Happy
agree
Yeah.
birthday.
with you.
Yeah, because me and my brothers, we didn't get none of that from our so-called parents.
Well,
We had to learn this as we worked through our teenage through those teenage years, and then get into the military and just start asking questions.
mhm.
Um, And then when my kids, I had to, I couldn't just tell them. I couldn't just, you know, teach them by just by vocally telling them stuff and everything. I had to put action behind it. Um, I had let them know that when you turn 12, Christmas time is over with. There'll be no more Santa Claus and no more of these nice gifts that you get. That time is over with. Now is the time for you to start preparing for when you graduate from high school. And of course, they gave me the look like, what are you talking about? We're still a kid. And even now, one of them still wants to say, but I'm still a kid, but still want to play grown. That's when you really have to put your foot in have you put your foot down on them or up their butt if for lack of a better term. But you have to put action behind it. So what I did is when they turned 12, I started them a stock option account with my Charles Schwab. So basically it's like a custodial.
Right.
And I would show it to them, let them look at it, let them see what I'm doing for their birthday or for the holidays. Which I mean, and yeah, this is maybe mean, but I would buy a penny stock and say, "This is your, this is your birthday gift, a penny stock,"
Oh,
or
there's nothing
"This
wrong
is
with
your
that.
Christmas present, a penny stock." And they will be like, "Wait a minute, that's all there?" I say, "Yeah, but it's the gift that keeps on giving, and it keeps going on and on." But here's where
And they want
your
to give it back
response.
to you.
Yeah, I told them this is where your responsibility comes in. You be out on the lookout for stuff that you think is going to grow. You come to me and say, "Dad, is there a stock for this particular place?" "Well, did you see the IPO?" Well, no, I didn't. Well, let's look for the IPO. You see the IPO? Well, I want to buy one stock of that. "Well, do you have any money in your little bank account that you want to use?" "Well, yeah." "Okay, then what we'll do is we'll take that and buy that stock if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, well, you can't buy it. But look at it as a gift that keeps on giving. Now, when they turn 18, guess what happens?
Well,
It
they're
goes
having with something.
it all
Yeah.
goes to them because
Right.
see, I can't spend that money. I can't spend that money that was put into their stock. I can never really touch it. I can only add to it. So therefore, when they turn 18, I tell Charles, "Hey man, give it to them. It's their responsibility now, and they can make it grow or sell or whatever it is they want to do, and then they can take it from there."
Well,
But
I
you,
think that's one of those things that, like you said, we didn't really grow up talking about that. Or our parents didn't. And then if you went to your parents when you learned better and try to tell them, sometimes they look at you like you crazy because how you gonna tell me when I'm the
yeah,
grown up?
all they yeah,
So
because all they
don't make
wanted
that
was
happen.
they're looking for their thought process of stock options was, "Hey, let me keep going to church, putting
That
money
one.
into the
It's
church,
the fast
get
one.
saved,
Get in that
and
one.
then when I die, I get my money after I'm dead
Oh,
and gone." Forget
Lord
that.
have mercy.
I had to teach them a totally different thing.
I
This
got
is realism. This is what we're doing now is real. This is not some fantasy. You have to live, and if you don't start preparing for retirement like right now, and it's never too late to do that. If you don't, and you're thinking that, well, I don't know if I'm gonna live that long. What
right.
happens if you do? You got to look at it like
Well,
that. What happens if
there's,
you live to be 100?
but there's a lot of people that are still here that didn't think they'd be here this long. Because when you
Mm,
see someone that's in their 90s, and I've had conversations with some people like that, and they're doing okay because they had family, to
right.
kind of still look out for them. But they like sometimes they're like, I'm happy, but any and everybody I've grown up with are gone.
Yeah.
And the closest people to me now are like in their 60s, 70s, and because they're still around, but anybody that was born with me in the 90s are no longer here. So
Hmm.
there's a 20-year gap, and they feel like, well, dad gone, I'm still here, and nobody ever thought that I'd be here this long. And some of them still got money, and some of them sometimes it runs out. So, like you said, we're just trying to prepare for something different, try to teach our kids something different as well.
Yeah, and we got to do it fast because this is what because when you and I get that show going, um, which I'm really going to push this,
Hmm.
we we really need to look at the Zip Atlas for the Black African American income because the median income for and I'm not talking about African Americans. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Black Americans, people who were here for
Right,
the you
right,
know
right.
past three, four, five, six, seven, eight generations.
Would definitely do me a favor.
It's
Bring that up.
tragic. It's
Yeah, bring that
tragic.
together.
Now, well, let me
Bring
ask this
that
question.
together.
Tobias, is this the first time that you've seen that, or
Uh,
did you know that already?
I knew it already,
Yeah,
but
I knew that as
the
well.
sad part about it is that nobody would listen. And the more as the years go by and you do this, you get frustrated, and there are times that you just want to give up, and you don't
Right.
want to tell nobody anything because you're like, dude, I've been talking, but instead you're trying to stab me in the back, and all I'm trying to do is give you good information. Or people want to say, well, you don't know what you're talking about. My kid's this, and I have been doing it. Yeah, but what you're doing is not good enough. What you need to do is this, and you need to look at do your research. Then sometimes I it's like for me, I'm like stock. I go up, I go down, but I like I said, I knew this a long time ago. It's just for a while, I just for at least almost 6 months, I was about to give up on everything and just say, what the hell with telling people this because they're not listening. And
Well, here's the
but
thing.
then I changed my mind. I
Right,
changed my
right,
mind,
right.
and I said, you know what? Um, there's no need to give up on stuff like that. We should continue to pass this information on, not just to our families, but to others out there. Even though they're not they didn't hear it the first time, maybe they'll hear it the second time.
Well, let's look at it like this. You know, you can always tell someone, and sometimes you can have to tell them in a calm tone and then leave it alone and just say,
Hmm.
hey, I know things are getting tough. So I know, think about the future, try to put something off to the side and then
Right.
just leave it there. Because when we try to beat them over the head with it, it just doesn't work. People have to get to the point where they just tired of being tired and then they'll try something different. And,
But
I heard a great friend say this one time: you can't save everybody.
Houston, I think it doesn't, that's not even the real case there. I think it has to do with who tells you, not what you're being hit. You take white folks have been beating black folks upside the head with information for years. And it don't take much. It didn't take much for them to beat you upside the head with the information that they wanted you to have. Even to this day, they don't even have to tell you this over and over and over again. They just tell you one time or put a billboard up there, and for some odd reason, it's gospel. So I think it depends
Well,
on who's doing the telling, rather than how many or how much you've heard, or whether or not it's a good idea versus a bad idea.
well, that sounds like we're gonna have to have.
There's
Go
two
ahead.
let me say this, Houston. There's two things. For us, people tend to think there's an ulterior motive. So what are you getting out of this by telling me this? And then the other thing is people need to see results. And if they can't see the results fast, then they're not drawn towards it.
Right.
And I agree with you. It's a matter of who tells the information. But again, it's also the person has got to be at the point where they don't want to be in that position anymore. And they understand that there's a better way. Just like you said, you can't save everybody, but those that want to come in and receive it, then you give it to them. And then hopefully you see that pay it forward mentality and they pass it on to the next person. But again,
Yeah.
they have got to want to. And I'll also say this, let them see by your works how well your plan is in effect. And once they see that, they'll come in, they'll ask questions. You ask
I
questions,
don't.
that's how you know what
I
to.
wish. I wish that part was. I wish that part was actually correct or was true. But I don't. We don't see that. Yeah. I mean, take for
I,
example, we've had stuff in the past where we've had individuals that actually, like George Jefferson, would make it to the top, but nobody would follow in that path. Why? Because of who he was. He was a black man. Who really follows a black man in this country? I mean, let's keep it real. You have black
I,
women that will not follow a black man, okay? But let a white man do it. Oh, it's okay. It's the best thing in the world. It's
Well,
brand new.
sometimes
And
it's what you're watching and what you're looking at. I don't see it that way completely. I understand
I
what
don't
you're
even.
saying. Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but when people see you being successful at something, they gravitate to it. Now they do. Back in the past, they did not. No, now they would always, when someone else tell them, they gravitate to it. Now people are starting to understand they want something different. They want to, people trying to network more to communicate with each other, but sometimes they still don't get it from certain people. Like you said, it depends on who it's coming from. Sometimes that is true. Um, but I will say this, I see people wanting to do more and better now, but they still kind of fall back into that same pattern. They want to do better. They try to do something better for a while, and then they fall back. But they keep moving forward. Before
I
people
think
just
it's a matter of being genuine, Houston. You got to
it's
be genuine.
you
You
got to
got to
be
be
genuine.
genuine. And if you're not genuine, people aren't going to come to you. And if people
Right.
feel like you're trying to get something from you or from them, they're
Right.
not going to receive it.
And,
I
I just,
see that. I see that amongst the black community, amongst between black men and black women. Yes, we see that a lot in our area.
mhm.
However, it's not that way outside. We don't have any real culture of our own in this country, regardless of what people may think. They say, well, wait a minute, we got jazz and we got the clothes and we did break dance and all this stuff and everything and whatnot, but it's not really a cult. We don't really have any, we did not start an enterprise on the things that we just started doing. Other people did that, and then guess what
well,
we ended up doing?
well, let me
We ended up paying for what we actually started.
let me break it down. Part of the way. Now, if we go back to what was it, Black Wall Street?
that's what I was getting
Uh-huh.
ready to say. Black
Black
Wall
Wall
Uh-huh.
Street is a
Street,
prime example.
right? Black Wall Street,
Hmm.
Wilmington, North Carolina, and is it called Greenwood? I think it was called Greenwood.
Mhm.
They burned down the entire town.
Right.
Now, that means back in 18, whatever it was, whatever that time
Hmm.
frame was, I don't know the exact time, we had banks, we had dentists, we had
Right.
doctors, you had lawyers, you had farmers, you had all that stuff. So
Right.
people know how to do it. It's just that when they were doing it and doing it well, it was kind of cut out. It had to been broken back
But
down. Now,
but there was something we forgot to
trying
do.
to come back to do.
What
Now
was,
they have to
what
try
was
to
that?
figure out how to come back to
But
it.
there was something we forgot to do though. We
What was
forgot
that?
to we forgot to protect our assets. You see what I'm saying? We
No,
forgot to
no,
protect.
no,
We
no,
didn't. We didn't.
no,
We didn't.
no, no. The reason why I'm saying no, they had nothing to protect because they burned it down and killed them. So there was
I
no
get that. That part I get. I
thing.
get it. But before it gets to that part, though, Houston,
Uh-huh.
you should have some type of defense in place to keep these folks are not okay. Those folks that started Greenwood, that started the stock market, they knew they were not oblivious to the fact that you have to protect what you build. They
Mhm.
saw this when they were brought. Their ancestors saw that when they were brought over here. They
Mhm.
Okay,
saw that when they were slaves.
can
I
I
thought
can
you had
I
to
can
be in.
I say this?
Go ahead.
It's real easy in hindsight to think that way, but in that day and time, and you are away from these people, you move to your own, you have a whole complete other town, you're not bothering them,
Right,
you're
right.
not sharing their space anymore, which is what they wanted.
Hmm.
Not necessarily. I mean, could have been people saying, you know what, maybe what if they come in here, whether, but in but the majority of the people, I'm like, okay, well, I'm away from these people. We're not bothering them. We're not dealing with them. In hindsight, to say, well, they should have protected themselves. They did by moving
Right, right, right.
Hmm.
I mean,
apart between each other. So to say that they should have whatever, it's kind of easy in hindsight to say that. But I think that's what they were doing. The way they did it is what they were doing by protecting themselves.
But they did. But the
Do you
bottom
understand
line
what I'm
is,
saying?
it regard. I hear what you're saying, but the bottom line is they did not. Case in point, there
No,
were
no,
over
no,
there
no,
were
no.
over 11,000. There were over 11,000 people, black people in Wilmington during the 1800s when Black Wall Street was there. Okay,
Mhm,
so
mhm,
there was over 11,000 black people to 8,000 whites. So
mhm.
you mean to tell me you could not protect your assets physically? You mean to tell me after living there in the 1800s and into the 1900s with all the
Mhm,
crap that took place prior to
mhm.
you starting this this Wall Street, you didn't know to protect your bushel?
So
So
we're gonna
But
save this.
you're
We're gonna
talking,
hold
you're
on, hold on.
you're.
We're gonna save that for another show, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about it because I'm gonna get a point. You
I know,
know,
right?
you
you
asked
know,
me the question. I can't believe we're stuck on what I wanted to do for 2025 because we were just talking
and see,
about
that's what I'm saying. It always gets shifted to something totally different,
right,
and
Sorry,
we
right.
go way to the left. We go way
sorry,
to the
man.
left. Um,
I
so
want to say this one thing. I gotta say this one thing, Houston. I
we're
gotta
gonna
say
say
this.
a few things. Go ahead.
And Toby, is it Tobias or Toby? How do you want to be addressed?
Tobias, never Toby,
Okay,
man.
okay.
Never. It's
Well,
Tobias.
I had an older brother named Toby, so that's why I'm saying it. His name was
Okay.
Tobias.
Go ahead on.
The only thing I say is for us and this
Y-
each individual, I don't want to get wrapped around the axle of what it used to be because
Yeah.
that will deter you. But we need to figure out what we need to do and how we are that much better. Because in this environment and what we're doing right now, with all these things that are afforded to us, there's no
Right.
reason why we are not successful. Back in the day, we couldn't do these things.
Right.
Now we can, and if we choose not to do it, then it's on us.
I
So
Right.
I
totally
get it,
agree. I agree.
what you're saying, but we got to start programming our children to see, okay, we are
Well,
superior, we are good people, we are trendsetters, we are financially able to do whatever. And if we keep talking about we should have done this or should have done that,
well,
well, we're
no,
gonna get
no.
stuck.
The only reason I brought up the shoulda, and what happened before is because we're talking. Someone else brought. I don't know who said it first, but I had to go back there with y'all. But to talk about it, what we can do right now, okay, is first before we start teaching our children, we have to educate ourselves first. And our mindset, the individual who's the parent or the grandparent that is around right now, their mindset is not in the right place. First, we have to deal with us, ourselves, and get our minds purged of the crap that we've been taught for so many years. Once we get that squared away, now we can start talking to our kids. Because right
Right.
now, like I said, how many people even know uh, how much? I know I don't know. I just found out just how low, how much lower we are now and how much worse it's getting. And in the next 20 years from now, it's going to be even worse. We're tragic. We are the lowest of the races in the world. And we can
Tobias,
sit here and say we could teach our kids, but what we need to do first is deal with ourselves first. And then
so
ask ourselves, what is it that I'm doing wrong?
what made you
Well,
find out? What made you go look for
this
that
is
information?
my vision for 2025.
Uh-huh.
And we've touched on it tonight. I think that going forward, as much as we, use that podcast to entertain, it needs to be educational also. And
Uh-huh.
we need to bring on, like you say, like Leisha, these business owners, and highlight people, because a lot of black people, the first thing, like when they do taxes, the first place they want to go, H&R Block.
Yeah.
And but you have people, black and brown people that look just like us, who have businesses that are doing just that. And when that's kind of like a um, interconnected Black Wall Street, where we're doing business with our own people, helping them build their brand, and then in response, they're looking out for us and helping us in ways that H&R Block ain't gonna do.
Well, yeah, I mean, I
You
get your
know, I
point.
think that
I follow
yeah,
what you're saying.
I think that, you know, I love entertainment shows. I love to, you know, have these debates back and forth. But kind of like what Tobias says, until we not only understand each other and, you know,
True.
who we are, and I respect me and I'm respecting you. We are using our own resources within our community and build up our community. I think that going forward should be our focus in 2025.
Well, I think we're gonna have certain shows that's gonna be focused on that because Tobias show Tough Talk with Tobias. That way, when he does his show, he can run with it. He can run with it because I mean, I understand. Hear the passion in it for him and what he's trying to say, and I get it. Um, and then we know we're gonna have some fun shows as well. That's why we got a variety of different things. And two, that's one thing that Insight's gonna be focused on for 2025 is bringing on people that have a small business. So we know we should all know a mechanic, we should all know a dentist, a doctor, whoever that we know that we can go to when we need something. And then it helps the whole community grow because we automatically going to go buy from Walmart and different places. But we still need to know other people that have things that we can purchase as well. So we'll do that. So y'all done threw my show off. It's supposed to be
Sorry.
we already done threw the show off. It's supposed to be a fun show, but y'all come up here with this mess on the night of Christmas for the gift. See what I'm saying? You don't know how to keep it right.
Stop asking questions.
I just
Stop
asked
asking
what
questions.
y'all gonna do for 2025. The heart we got way the green acres and ham. So, but let's do this. Let's do this. We know we're gonna have a variety of things for 2025. Tobias is into acting. He's gonna be doing some stuff. Daryl is gonna be into directing and with his podcast and his whole studio that he has in Greenville, which I'm gonna have to go down there and do a show from there and get you guys to come through to see it because it's a beautiful site to see, which is in Greenville.
Oh,
So
and I have 2 Christmas shows coming out next Christmas. So 2 Christmas movies.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
So,
I got to see.
Yeah, let us know what those are. So let me do this. Let me pull this up, and I'm gonna do what y'all said. We just gonna pull a name. How about that?
There you go. Got 4 people on.
Say what?
You have 4 people on. So
we got 4 people on. Here we go. Let's see. Hold on.
And what is this for? What are you pulling for?
What we pulling for?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull for the TV. And the reason why I say that is because if I pull for anything else, they're gonna swear that I pulled them at the wrong time. You know how that goes. Well, I'm looking at Ursula's face. She looking hard. She like that don't look like
I'm waiting for you to say my name.
And it is, unless your name start with a B, that's
Call
not
me
it.
babe. I don't care.
The name is Brittany from the Stone Center.
All right.
Okay. Yay,
Congratulations.
Brittany.
Stone Center.
Congratulations, Brittany.
Yay, Brittany.
Congratulations, Brittany.
I'm being extra generous, Brittany. I'm gonna give you an early Christmas present.
So what I hate is Brittany's not having her phone number up here because I wanted to call her while we were sitting here, so I can kind of hear a little excitement in her voice. But Brittany from the Stone Center, and I know where the Stone Center is. That's a location that my wife works, so she has some people at work that bought some tickets. So evidently, it's someone that she knows. I'm gonna go let her know that in a few minutes. So what I am gonna do, I'm gonna reach in again. This time, I have not the Fire Stick, the Google Chrome. I have a Google Chrome that I said I was gonna give that away as well. Person might not want it, but at least I'm gonna pull a name out the hat, and let's see. James Ivy out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right.
James Ivy. He is a barber. As a matter of fact, he was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and that's when he bought his ticket.
All right.
He's
Congratulations.
executive barber. He's an executive barber here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So y'all, everybody, congratulate. Let's give it hand clap, hand clap, hand clap. Congrats. Brittany from the Stone Center and James Ivy is the winner of the Google Chrome box. So we are good. We are good. Any closing words? Because I had something I wanted to say, but I said I'm gonna save it for another show. It'll be another 20 minutes. We'll
Yeah, I look forward to meeting and us working together.
No doubt. And now that you said that, please make sure that you and I get together so we can go ahead and make that list of the things that they need to have when they call you or when they want you to do their taxes. And then I'm going to be getting with someone that we might can put a spreadsheet together that we can email that to them and they can fill it out or make sure they have that checklist before they contact you. All right.
Okay.
All right. Daryl Smith, any last words?
Yeah, check out my podcast on YouTube, Unique Voices and Unique Creations. Definitely take a look at that. Gonna have a lot of artists come through in 2025. I'm expecting some big things. So please, your support is what I'm begging for. I'm saying begging because I mean it. So look forward to seeing you guys.
All right. Once again,
You say Unique Voices and what?
Unique Voices and Unique Creations.
Okay.
I'll make sure that I'm gonna make sure I add his show that he's already done, which looks excellent, looks really good. I'm gonna add it to our chat group, and that way we can join his Facebook page and YouTube channel, and we can all share it. And that is something that we're gonna be working together. I'm looking at putting a group together on social media. I'm just for lack of a better name, it might be called the Facebook podcast channel. I think that we need to find other podcasts that we really enjoy and share it in this group so people can join and we all can learn from it, because we're going to learn from other people how to make it look, the lighting, the sound, and how to kind of stay on task with our subjects and the whole nine, and writing out the things that we need for our shows so we can have a better show in 2025. All right.
Okay.
All right. Everybody good?
Yes.
Yep.
Now, hey, look, I appreciate you guys. We will definitely be talking some more this week coming up. Everybody
All right.
have a good night.
You too.
Yes.